Have you ever stopped to think that the last digit of your birth year might hold a hidden meaning about your life? What if this seemingly insignificant piece of information could be interpreted through the wisdom of the ancient Vikings or the Stoic philosophers? Imagine that your journey, your challenges, and even the way you face your fate are linked to that number we often overlook. It may seem surprising, but ancient cultures, both in the icy north of Scandinavia and in the timeless philosophy of Roman Stoicism, might view this detail as something important to be understood. The concept of fate has fascinated humanity for millennia. The Vikings believed that our lives were intertwined with the threads woven by the Norns, deities who controlled the destinies of all. On the other hand, the Stoics argued that while fate might be unavoidable, we have control over how we react to it. These two ways of thinking, so different in their cultures and traditions, offer a powerful perspective. We are not mere passengers in the flow of time. Instead, we have the capacity to use wisdom, courage, and resilience to shape the course of our lives. In this video, we will explore how Viking philosophy and Stoicism can be applied to interpret something as simple as the last digit of your birth year. It may seem improbable, but there is something fascinating about how we can find meaning and direction in seemingly trivial details. Now, take a moment to reflect. What is the last digit of your birth year? Perhaps you've never thought much about it. But what if it could represent more than just a numerical convention? Perhaps, within this simple number, there are clues about the path you are destined to follow, the challenges you will face, and, more importantly, the inner strengths you need to develop to overcome those challenges. Here, we unite the wisdom of the Vikings, with their unwavering courage in the face of the unknown, and Stoic philosophy, which teaches acceptance and internal control. Both show us how we can interpret what lies beyond our control and transform it into power. The central idea we will explore is that by accepting fate, represented here by this final digit, we can not only understand it but also mold it through the strength of our actions and thoughts. The Stoics, led by figures like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, advocated for a life in which true power resides in accepting what we cannot control and focusing on what we can: our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions. Stoic philosophy provides a practical and timeless tool for navigating life's ups and downs. Imagine that the last digit of your birth year represents the circumstances of your life that you cannot control. According to Stoicism, what matters is not the number or what it symbolizes in terms of fate, but how you respond to it. The Vikings, on the other hand, had a unique view of destiny. For them, fate was not something to be feared or lamented, but rather faced with courage and honor. They believed that the Norns wove each person's life thread, and that while the final outcome was beyond our control, how we confront that fate was what truly mattered. The concept of courage was central to Viking life, the idea of facing the unknown, without guarantees, but with honor and determination. Thus, by connecting the last digit of your birth year with Viking wisdom, we can see this number as a kind of modern rune, a symbol of the fate you must confront with courage, like a Viking warrior facing an uncertain battle. In summary, we are about to embark on a fascinating journey where philosophy, mysticism, and self-awareness converge. We will explore how both the Vikings and the Stoics viewed fate and how this wisdom can be applied to our daily lives, using something as simple as the last digit of the birth year as a starting point for deep reflections. Get ready to discover what this number means to you and how it can be interpreted through the lens of these ancient traditions. Stoic philosophy presents us with a powerful view of life. While we cannot control what happens around us, we have complete control over how we react to those happenings. Essentially, Stoicism teaches that true power lies within us, in our minds and emotions. When we think of the last digit of the birth year as a metaphor, we can see it as a symbol of circumstances that are beyond our reach. Just as the Stoics could not control fate, you cannot choose the year you were born, but you can choose how to interpret and act based on that. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, once said, "Life, if you know how to use it, is long." This quote reminds us that how we live is more important than the external events that affect us. For the Stoics, the key to success was the serene acceptance of things that cannot be changed and a complete focus on what is within our power: our thoughts, our decisions, and our attitudes. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus were three great masters of Stoicism, each facing different types of adversity. Seneca lived under the rule of ruthless emperors and witnessed firsthand the darker side of power. Yet, he always argued that life was about how we face our internal battles more than our external ones. He taught us that true power lies in our ability to find peace and wisdom, even amidst chaos. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor and philosopher, is another great example. In his famous book, Meditations, he wrote about the importance of focusing on one's own mind. One of his most well-known pieces of advice is, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This phrase encapsulates the essence of Stoicism. By recognizing that we do not control what the world throws at us, but we do control how we respond, we find an unwavering strength. Here, the last digit of your birth year can be seen as one of those external events. We cannot change it, just as we cannot change many other circumstances in life. However, what we can control is how we interpret and respond to that number. It can be a symbol of challenge or opportunity, depending on our perspective. Imagine that the last digit of your birth year represents a situation that is outside your control. A metaphor for destiny. Perhaps it symbolizes a life lesson, a challenge you are destined to face. However, the important thing here is not what it means in terms of luck or fate, but how you deal with that number and the circumstances it symbolizes. In Stoicism, fate is not something we should fear. Instead, it is something we should accept with serenity and inner strength. Stoicism teaches that fate is connected to the nature of things. As part of nature, we are all subject to the laws of the universe. Illness, loss, and hardships are inevitable. Stoicism does not try to change these realities. It provides us with the tools to face them wisely. This philosophy is a call to action to look at your own fate, that's symbolized by the last digit of your birth year, and ask, how can you apply this in your life? The answer lies in small daily actions. Consider the challenges you face, at work, in relationships, or regarding your health, and reflect on how you respond to these situations. A true Stoic would ask, am I focusing on what I can control, or am I worrying about what is beyond my reach? Here are some practical ways to apply Stoic philosophy in your daily life. Practice the dichotomy of control. Whenever you encounter a difficult situation, ask yourself, is this under my control? If it isn't, focus on accepting the situation with serenity. If it is, dedicate your energy to doing the best you can. Maintain calm amid adversity. When something goes wrong, like missing a deadline or facing a setback, try to adopt a more stoic attitude. Take a deep breath and ask, how can I respond to this more constructively? Cultivate gratitude. Stoics often emphasize the practice of gratitude, even in tough times. When something seems out of your control, look for something positive in the situation. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges, but rather recognizing that even difficulties can lead to growth. By doing this, you begin to shape your own destiny, even if you can't change external circumstances. Your last digit of your birth year, in this context, becomes a reminder that you have the power to choose how you react and to cultivate resilience. Stoic philosophy teaches us that true freedom lies not in trying to control the uncontrollable, but in mastering ourselves. The last digit of your birth year can symbolize what you cannot change. However, as Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus taught us, we can find strength by focusing on what we can control: our mind, our attitudes, and our choices. Now, you're ready to explore how the Vikings, with their fierce courage, also teach us to face destiny. In the next section, we'll dive into Viking wisdom and understand how the mysticism of the Norns and the use of runes can be applied to our interpretation of this number of destiny. Reflect on internal control. Think of a recent situation where things got out of control. How did you react? Could it have been different with a more stoic approach? The Vikings, like the Stoics, had a profound reverence for destiny. In Norse mythology, the Norns were three mysterious deities responsible for weaving the fate of all living beings. Urd, past; Verdandi, present; and Skuld, future, worked together on a divine loom, manipulating the threads representing each individual's life. For the Vikings, destiny was an inevitable force, but that didn't stop them from facing it with courage and honor. The belief in the Norns teaches us something valuable. What happened in the past, what is happening now, and what is to come are all interconnected by an invisible thread. Just like the last digit of your birth year is part of your personal story, it can be seen as a symbol of what the Norns have woven for you. This number may represent a mystical force beyond your control, but as the Vikings believed, how you confront your destiny is what truly defines your worth. Among the many intriguing aspects of Viking culture, runes hold a special place. Runes were more than just an alphabet. They were seen as mystical symbols imbued with power. Each rune had a deep meaning, and the Vikings used them not only to write but also to seek wisdom, protection, and to foresee the future. They believed that runes could reveal the secrets of destiny. Now, imagine that the last digit of your birth year is a kind of modern rune. While it may not have the traditional significance of Viking runes, it can be interpreted as a personal symbol, a number that carries hidden meaning. Just as the Vikings consulted runes for guidance, you can be inspired to look at this digit as an indication of something greater, something you should decipher and use as a tool on your journey. For example, if the last digit of your birth year is 9, it could be seen as a symbol of completion or wisdom, reflecting the final cycle of a path. Or if the digit is 1, it might suggest new beginnings and the need to embrace challenges with courage, like a true Viking warrior. While the Stoics preached acceptance of fate with serenity, the Vikings added a layer of bravery and action to this perspective. For the Vikings, it didn't matter what your destiny was. What mattered was how you faced it head-on, with courage. They did not shy away from battles or the unknown. Instead, they pressed forward into challenges with fierce determination. Viking life was filled with uncertainties, from perilous sea voyages to confrontations with powerful enemies. But there was always a strong sense that how they acted in the face of adversity defined their true legacy. This mindset of facing destiny with courage can be directly applied to how you view the meaning of the last digit of your birth year. Instead of seeing it as something that simply happens to you, like a reflection of life's uncontrollable circumstances, adopt the Viking perspective. View it as a call to action. This number can be a reminder that, no matter what life brings, you have the ability to face it with bravery and determination. As they confronted the unknown, the Vikings believed that honor lay in how they behaved in the face of death and adversity. And this honor is something you can also embrace when facing your own challenges, interpreting the last digit of your birth year as a symbol of the destiny you are meant to confront with courage. Now, imagine what it would be like to face destiny as the Vikings did, transforming uncertainty and the unknown into opportunities to demonstrate courage and strength. The last digit of your birth year can be seen as a starting point for this journey. How can you transform this number into a personal symbol of resilience? Here are some ways to adopt this Viking approach in your life. Face challenges head-on. When you encounter a difficult situation, ask yourself, how would a Viking react to this? Remember that destiny is not something to be feared, but an opportunity to demonstrate your strength and character. Use the symbol as guidance. Take the last digit of your birth year and reflect on what it might represent in your life. Is it a call to overcome obstacles? A message that you need to show more courage in certain areas? Use it as a modern rune, a tool for guiding your reflection. Embrace uncertainty with honor. Just as the Vikings accepted that the unknown was part of life, you can embrace the uncertainties that arise. Instead of resisting or fearing the future, view each challenge as an opportunity to showcase your true inner strength. By adopting this Viking perspective, destiny ceases to be something that simply happens to you and becomes a pathway to demonstrate resilience, courage, and honor. The last digit of your birth year, in this context, transforms into a powerful symbol of how you can face life with bravery. The Vikings teach us that, while destiny is beyond our control, the courage with which we confront it is what truly matters. The last digit of your birth year can be seen as a symbol of your destiny, something that the Norns have woven for you, but like a true Viking, you can choose to face it with courage. By doing so, you transform this number into a symbol of strength and resilience, a reminder that regardless of what fate brings, you have the capacity to confront it head-on. Now that we understand how Viking wisdom teaches us to face destiny, we are ready to dive into the next topic, where we will compare how both Stoics and Vikings approached adversity and how their philosophies complement each other. Crossed swords, both Stoics and Vikings shared a fundamental view of life. Adversity is inevitable. The difference lies in how each group faced this truth. For the Stoics, adversity was an opportunity to practice internal control and serene acceptance. Stoic philosophy teaches that external suffering, whether physical or emotional, does not need to affect our inner peace. The true challenge for a Stoic is to keep a firm mind, regardless of external difficulties. On the other hand, Vikings saw adversity as a battlefield, where honor was earned not through passive acceptance but through courageous action. While the Stoics valued control over internal reactions, Vikings focused on action in the face of fate. For them, each obstacle was an opportunity to prove their strength and bravery. Destiny was not just something to be accepted but something to be actively and fearlessly confronted. These two perspectives, though distinct, complement each other perfectly. Stoicism teaches us to maintain calm amid chaos, not to be overwhelmed by things beyond our control. Vikings inspire us to act with courage, regardless of uncertainty. It is the combination of these two philosophies that offers us a powerful approach to facing the challenges of modern life. A classic example of resilience in Stoic philosophy can be found in the life of Marcus Aurelius. As Roman emperor, Marcus faced constant battles, both on the battlefield and in politics, as well as a series of personal losses. Nevertheless, he maintained his firm mind, writing in his meditations, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." This exemplifies how Stoics believed that while we cannot avoid physical suffering or adversities, we can choose how these situations affect our spirit. Vikings, on the other hand, approached destiny in a more literal and active manner. Imagine Viking warriors navigating stormy seas, unsure if they would reach their destination or perish in a tempest. For them, death was a constant possibility, but not something to be feared. In fact, confronting death head-on, with bravery, was one of the greatest honors. The concept of Valhalla, the Viking paradise for warriors, was reserved for those who died with courage, facing their enemies fearlessly. These examples of overcoming challenges show us two distinct yet equally powerful approaches. Marcus Aurelius maintained his inner serenity amid chaos, while Vikings confronted death with bravery. Together, these teachings demonstrate that true strength lies in both internal resilience and courageous action in the face of challenges. And where does the last digit of your birth year fit into all of this? As we explored in previous sections, this number can be seen as a symbolic representation of the adversities you are destined to face in life. However, it can also be interpreted as an invitation to resilience and overcoming, a reminder that even if certain aspects of fate are beyond your control, you can choose how to react to them. Let's imagine, for example, that the last digit of your birth year is 3. If you follow the Stoic perspective, this number could represent the inevitable challenges of life, something you must accept with serenity and internal control. With each obstacle you encounter, you have the opportunity to practice patience, detachment, and focus on what you can control. On the other hand, if you follow the Viking philosophy, that 3 could symbolize a series of battles to be won with courage and active strength. It's a number that challenges you to fight with determination in the face of the unknown. Both approaches are valuable, and you can apply whichever resonates more with your life experience. Whether you choose the Stoic acceptance or the Viking courage, or a mix of both, the important thing is to understand that the last digit of your birth year can serve as a guide for facing adversities with resilience. Now, it's time for you to reflect on the challenges you face in your life. If the last digit of your birth year were a symbol of those challenges, how would you react? Would you choose a more Stoic approach, marked by serene acceptance and control over your emotions? Or do you prefer a Viking approach, facing challenges head-on, with courage and decisive action? Here are some ways to apply these teachings in your life. Practice Stoic serenity. Whenever you face a challenge that seems impossible to control, ask yourself, how can I change my reaction to this? If you can't change the situation, change how you perceive it. Take a deep breath, find inner peace, and move forward. Act with Viking courage. When you feel fear or uncertainty, imagine yourself as a Viking warrior in an unknown battle. Move forward with confidence, knowing that true value lies in how you face the unknown. Even if destiny is uncertain, your inner strength is within your reach. Blend the approaches. Sometimes, the best path is to combine both philosophies. Accept serenely the things that are beyond your control, but act with courage when it's necessary to confront something directly. Resilience comes from both a calm mind and courageous action. By comparing the philosophies of the Stoics and the Vikings, we see that both offer valuable ways to face adversity. While Stoics teach us to cultivate a calm and unshakable mind, Vikings inspire us to confront our fears and act with courage. And by interpreting the last digit of our birth year as a symbol of life's challenges, we can use these ancient philosophies to strengthen our resilience. In the next section, we will explore how these same philosophies help us find spiritual and emotional prosperity, transcending the materialism that often defines modern life. In modern society, we often associate prosperity with the accumulation of material goods, money, status, possessions. However, both Stoics and Vikings viewed prosperity in a very different light. For them, true wealth was not measured by gold or land, but by internal qualities such as honor, resilience, inner peace, and courage. Stoics, for example, believed that the only thing that truly mattered was our character and how we responded to life's adversities. External wealth, to them, was fleeting and irrelevant. Seneca said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few needs." This concept teaches us that true prosperity lies in living fully and meaningfully, regardless of external circumstances. Vikings, on the other hand, valued honor and bravery above any material wealth. For them, success in life was determined by the courage they showed in battles and their loyalty to their tribe. Prosperity was measured by how they faced death and challenges, knowing that their legacy would extend beyond earthly life, entering the realm of the spiritual, whether in Valhalla or in the memory of those they left behind. Both Stoic philosophy and Viking culture provide powerful examples of how spiritual and emotional prosperity surpass the value of material wealth. In Stoicism, peace of mind is considered the most precious good. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, had all the riches one could imagine, yet in his meditations, he constantly reflected on the impermanence of it all. He wrote, "Always think of yourself as living in the present moment. The past has vanished. The future is uncertain." For him, true prosperity lay in the ability to find peace and meaning in the here and now, without being carried away by worldly desires and concerns. Similarly, for the Vikings, the concept of honor was the highest form of prosperity. A warrior who died honorably in battle secured a place in Valhalla, the paradise of brave warriors. This belief demonstrated that, for them, the value of life was not measured by the amount of gold they owned, but by the character and courage they exhibited throughout their lives. As we reflect on these traditions, we can see that true prosperity is not about accumulating things, but about developing an inner strength, whether it's the Stoic serenity or Viking courage, that allows us to face life with confidence, purpose, and resilience. Now that we've explored the vision of prosperity in Stoic and Viking philosophy, let's return to the central theme. What can the last digit of your birth year teach us about finding this spiritual and emotional prosperity? Consider this number as a reminder that your journey is not only about external achievements but also about internal growth. Regardless of what the last digit of your birth year is, it can symbolize how you can thrive on deeper levels. Perhaps this number represents the amount of challenges you will face, but by overcoming them with resilience and wisdom, you will discover a form of prosperity that transcends the material. For example, if the last digit is 6, you might interpret it as a symbol of balance and harmony. From this perspective, your emotional and spiritual prosperity may be related to the pursuit of peace and harmony in your interactions and your inner world. If the digit is 0, it may symbolize constant renewal, a continuous journey of spiritual and emotional rebirth, where each new cycle of challenges leads to greater growth. How can you apply these teachings in your own life? Here are some practices that can help you focus on emotional and spiritual prosperity rather than merely on material wealth. Embrace Stoic simplicity. Challenge yourself to live with less, fewer possessions, fewer worries, fewer distractions. Ask yourself, what do I really need to be happy? Sometimes focusing on what is essential frees us to find more internal prosperity. Cultivate Viking honor. Reflect on what it means to live honorably in your daily battles. Whether in work, relationships, or your own internal challenges, how can you demonstrate more courage and integrity? Every small courageous action strengthens your spirit. Meditate on the last digit. use the last digit of your birth year as a personal symbol. Take some time to reflect on what this number can mean for you in terms of spiritual and emotional growth. How can it guide you to achieve a deeper internal prosperity? By applying these concepts, you will begin to see life through a richer lens, where true value is not measured by what you possess but by who you become. Stoic and Viking wisdom reminds us that, in the end, the most valuable prosperity lies not in the things we own but in the spirit we cultivate. The last digit of your birth year can serve as an entry point for deeper reflections, a symbol that leads you to seek true abundance, one that comes from emotional and spiritual strengthening. Now that we understand the concept of spiritual and emotional prosperity, we are ready to conclude our journey with a final reflection. In the next section, we will recap the main points and understand how Stoic and Viking wisdom can be applied practically and profoundly in our lives. Throughout this journey, we have explored how the ancient wisdom of Stoics and Vikings can be applied to our daily lives, using something as simple as the last digit of our birth year as a profound symbol of destiny and self-knowledge. Both traditions teach us that, although we cannot control everything that happens around us, we have the power to control how we respond and face challenges. Stoic philosophy has shown us the importance of internal control and serene acceptance in the face of the uncontrollable. Through the examples of Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, we learn that true power resides in our mind, in our ability to remain resilient and calm regardless of external circumstances. On the other hand, Viking wisdom taught us to confront fate with courage. Inspired by the Norns and the use of runes, we discovered how the Vikings viewed destiny not as something to fear but as an opportunity to prove their bravery. They showed us that even when the future is uncertain, courageous action defines who we are. These two perspectives together offer a powerful foundation for us to face the challenges of modern life. Whether through acceptance or fearless action, what matters is how we choose to react to our destiny. Now that we understand how these ancient traditions can shape our worldview, it is time to apply these lessons in our lives. Think about the last digit of your birth year. It is not just a number. It can represent the challenges you will face and, at the same time, the potential you have to overcome them. Each adversity you encounter can be an opportunity to practice Stoic serenity or Viking courage. How can you start applying these philosophies from now on? When something out of your control happens, ask yourself, how would a Stoic react? And when faced with situations that require action, ask, how would a Viking face this? This ongoing reflection on how to respond to circumstances can help transform the way you approach daily challenges. Ancient wisdom has the power to give us a new perspective on our own destinies, empowering us to live more fully and courageously. This video was just the beginning of a larger journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. From now on, you have the tools to interpret what is beyond your control and, at the same time, act with strength in the face of life's uncertainties. But the journey doesn't end here. It is just beginning. Here are 3 practical ways to continue this quest. Daily Stoic meditation. Set aside a few minutes each day to reflect on the events that occurred and ask yourself how you can have more control over your reactions. What is within your control? What is not? Viking courage in action. Face something you've been avoiding, whether it's a difficult conversation, an important decision, or a personal challenge. Do this with the courage a Viking would have when entering battle. Interpretation of your last digit. Reflect on the last digit of your birth year and what it might symbolize. Use it as a reminder that, even in the face of fate, you have the inner strength to choose how to respond and thrive. By applying these teachings, you will find a balance between acceptance and action, serenity and courage. With this, you will be ready to continue your journey with the wisdom of ancient Stoics and Vikings, strengthening your spirit and facing life with resilience and determination. Ancestral wisdom teaches us that true power lies in our ability to confront life with a brave heart and a calm mind. By interpreting the last digit of your birth year as a symbol of challenges and opportunities, you can discover new ways to grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Now, it's up to you to continue this journey, applying these lessons to your life to live with more purpose and resilience. And to keep learning from these philosophies and other content that can transform your life, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's embark on this journey of knowledge and growth together.